We're live.
All right, let's get this started. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to my fellow pals that are out there in internet land watching this little lecture I'm going to put together here. Before I get started, I want to make a disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. I have very limited medical experience. However, I've been living with ALS for 10 years. By the way, my name is Charles Finley. I'm sorry, I should have said that first. I've been living with ALS for 10 years, and I have been using cannabis products for the entire time and CBD products for most of the time. And I've done a little presentation before for a PALS group that we have, and I was focusing mainly on people who were in my same condition or closer that could still inhale their products and can use cannabis as I use it, which is as smoking it mainly. And the reason why cannabis products are so important to us with ALS is because I have found, number one, the main things that are important to us are nutrition, sleep, and pain relief. And those are three things that we have a hard time getting. So I've found through cannabis that there are some very effective ways to combat our symptoms and give us a better quality of life. And also, as far as appetite, they are very effective for that. The main reason I take the cannabis products that I smoke is because of appetite, and instant relief, because it's the quickest, most effective way to get it into your bloodstream. But because we are a community of people who are constantly on the downgrade and we are going to lose our function to be able to smoke, I had to go outside my scope once I realized there was a lot of the people out there that couldn't smoke and start out with these other products, which I have taken upon myself to buy and test in the last month. And so I'm going to be going across the spectrum. So all you people out there that are watching this that are not able to inhale, just have a little patience and we'll get to you. And I have some things to talk about that's going to really help you out a lot. So anyway, when it comes to cannabis products, I have a really fondness for a particular strain that they're right now developing called Malawi. It's comes from South Africa, and it has a compound in it called CBDV9. They are finding a lot of promising results with that because its effectiveness is more effective than CBD by itself. And CBD and CBN are two things I'm going to be talking about today. And as far as for the ALS patients like us, I find that that is the holy grail, the beginning, that everything I use starts with CBD. However, I've recently discovered CBN, and it is a very effective sleep aid. So I'm jumping around a little here, but I'm going to say that when you go, if you're somebody who can still smoke marijuana and you want a product that is something that's effective all the time, if you can find something in the Malawi strain, I would do that. However, right now we're in flux, and the packaging is going through a thing, and everything has to come through state-sanctioned distribution points, and it's making it hard to come by the products that I was able to get easily before. So you're going to have to look around. And the main thing I want to say about when you're using smoking products and you're trying to find something that works for you is you kind of have to do a little due diligence and research. But I'm going to be able to help you out with that by pointing you in the direction of someone who is going to be able to help you with that, which is a cannabis coach that I've been working with, which I'll get to in a little bit. The next product I have on the table besides the marijuana that's over here, honey, will you come over and help me, please? This is my wife, Deborah, who's helping me with this, and none of this would be possible without her. So this is hash. This is something that I use too, but it's also, you have to have pretty good lung function to be able to use the hashes because they're a little bit harsh on the lungs, but they're really effective for sleeping. I'm showing you two packaging there because, hold those up again, honey. I'm showing this because the old packaging, you can see what you're getting, you could open it up, you could smell it. The new packaging, when you go, you don't have to do that. When you go with the new packaging, it's in her hand, it's in a plain white wrapper, you can't open it, you can't see what it is, you can only read what's on the outside. So you're kind of taken the word for whoever it is that's going to be selling this product to you. I hate to say product, I want to say medicinal product, because this is actually medicine. All this stuff is medicine. And it's unique the way it's being marketed, because it's being marketed as supplements right now because of the FDA regulations and such. But to move on from that, the next thing I want to talk about is concentrates. I have been medicating for so long that I'm in a very high THC to CBD bracket. So what I like to do, oh, honey, pull out Coach Casey's cut. I kind of skipped over him. There is I don't know if anyone knows Daryl or if they have experienced Coach Casey's cut. This is a strain of marijuana developed by a gentleman named Daryl. He's right here in San Diego. He donates this product to us, and I have found it to be very effective. It's a high CBD, low THC ratio. It is the go-to thing whenever I have really serious problems and I need immediate relief. It also helps with sleep and everything, but once again, it's a smoking product, so a lot of people aren't going to be able to use that. But I wanted to let you know, if you want to start, if you're going to be smoking marijuana, you would probably want to start with Coach Casey's cut, because it's going to be the most effective thing you're going to find right off the bat for your symptoms. So what I'm coming to next is, Deb, would you hold up the concentrate, please? This is a concentrate that I use that you can put in a dab pen, which is a blue pin that you see in front. Would you hold up the dab pen? You can put it in that, and it's called a dabber. It's a little complicated to work with, but it's very, very effective as far as instantly giving you, not only it helps with your appetite, it'll put you to sleep, it'll really lay you back in your chair, so it's a real heavy hitter. I only recommend doing that when you're at home, and definitely not when you're trying to drive around in your wheelchair. The pin next to it, this is a vape pen that I use. It has a cartridge in it. It's a very neat application. There's no muss, no fuss. You just push the button and go. I use that when I'm out and about. If I go to a restaurant and say, I want to order, I'm getting ready to order a meal, my appetite's not quite there, I'll take a couple of puffs off of that. It helps give me an appetite right away, and it makes eating a lot more enjoyable. And that is something that I use when I'm in public because it's accepted widely. I mean, even though it's legal, I still have a hard time trying to find a place to be able to, medicate with a joint in public. It's just not something that I'd rather do it at home, because there's just still too many people that raise their eyebrows about it. But nobody does when you hit a vape pen. So that's the reason why I keep that around all the time. And from there, I'm going to start moving into the products that will help more than people that can smoke. And this is CBD pills that I'm taking right now. I use these. These are 10 milligrams CBD. It's in a coconut oil-based solvent. They put it in there. It's really easy on the stomach. It will help your appetite a little bit. It will help relax you. And if you take a couple of them, it'll even put you to sleep, and you'll sleep fairly well. There's a lot of products I'm going to tell you that are double, will do the same thing as another product will. Some of them better than others. Excuse me for a moment. Can I get a drink of water, honey? Thank you. Excuse me, I'm getting a little dry mouthed up here. So, the products I'm going to start talking about now, we're going to start out with the one that I find, unfortunately, I'm going to say something else about marijuana and cannabis in general. I have never, ever, in all of my experience, had a bad experience as far as medicating. Never overdosed. That's a non-existent thing. You don't overdose on marijuana. What you do is you start yawning and tears start coming out of your eyes when you reach your max, and then you pass out. You fall asleep. You can only go so far with it. And to get to the point where you're going to OD on it, you would have to eat a bale of it at one time, and it's just not going to happen. And again, I'm not a doctor, but this is my experience from using these products. So the next product I'm going to talk about is THC tincture. That's a nasal spray. It was actually the most expensive product I bought and the most disappointing. This is a product. I'm not naming any of these products by name because I'm not a salesperson and I don't want to be. And there's a lot more than just these ones up here. There's at least 2 or 3 in different companies putting out that some of them are better than others. And that's why I say do your due diligence, because a lot of these are under the ICANN umbrella, which is the Israeli, it's an Israeli mechanism. I don't really know how to explain it except that everything comes under their umbrella. They have a forum they use, a Canatech forum. They have a distribution network. They help companies that are developing products get off the ground and get their stuff out there to the market. And so a lot of these, and they're very reputable. The Hebrew University, a lot of Israeli, the most prestigious and knowledgeable people that are researching it right now, it's all coming out of Israel or companies that are affiliated with them. You can look this up online. ICANN's in there and read about them, and you'll understand a little bit more about their mission. And I don't want to get off topic too much, but a lot of these products I have up there are their products, and they are effective. But this first one I'm going to tell you about, they missed the mark on a little bit, in my opinion, because it's a nasal spray. It's 5 milligrams of THC. There's no CBD in it. I just bought it to try it because I feel like THC without CBD is really not where we want to go. It's not really effective for us. The CBD THC combos are the best ones I'm finding that work. This spray, I did it. I sprayed it up my nose. It was unpleasant taste. It was kind of like burnt orange peel, burning sensation in my nose, burning sensation on the back of my throat. It's 5 milligram doses. You take one, you wait 20 seconds, and then you squirt one in the other nostril. So you're doing it in 10 milligram dose, which I found when it affected me, which was in about 3 to 5 minutes, it was not what I was looking for. It was not like smoking. It was not like eating edibles. It was a whole different kind of feeling in my head, which I did not appreciate. I didn't like it because it felt a little too low grade and stuffy, and plus the burning and everything lasted for a couple of hours, and after that there was a little discharge that came out of my nose that was a brown orangish discharge. So that product right there didn't really do a lot for me, didn't really help my head, didn't help my body at all. So that product, I would say, is a pass on that product. The one next to it is a 3-to-1 CBD tincture. This one, it's got a spray pump on it, but it doesn't come out like a spray. It comes out like a gel, just like the 2 syringes next to it. It was 3 to 1. It's the first one I did that was more THC than CBD. It's a 3-to-1 THC to CBD ratio. I tried that, put it on my tongue. It wasn't a bad taste. You leave it on your tongue for 90 seconds and then you swallow it. And I know a lot of people have trouble swallowing, but it turns pretty much into a liquid that's really easy to slide down your throat. So you could chase it with some water or anything and it would be good. It was very effective. I was surprised at how effective it was. At first I was a little, because it was a little more heady than I like. I like my body to be the first thing that gets numbed up, what I call numbed up, which is not a true numbing, but I like my body to get relaxed and have no gesticulation, no stomach pains from, the pressure of my upper body pushing down, which I know we all understand what that's all about. So that one I found, the longer it stayed in my system, the more effective it was. It says 4 to 6 drops. I did 4. 4 was very effective. For anybody starting out, if you've never done that before, I would say take 2 or 3 and then go on from there. But that product I found to be fairly effective. It did seem to help my appetite a little bit, not as good as me smoking it. So I would go to that after for me, I would go to that if I couldn't smoke anymore. It would be one of the things I went to. The 2 syringes next to it, they're syringes. There's no needles are here. Those are, what are the ratios on those, hon? These both have ratios to CBD to THC ratio. One is a 3-to-1, I believe, and the other one is a 1-to-1. And again, it's pretty much the same thing as the bottle that's next to it. It's just different ratios. And I think that is a disposable dose. They have that. I think it's 1 or 2, maybe 3 doses you can get out of that, because or you can take the whole thing. It depends on how much, yeah. It's all, it's all plainly marked on what it is, and these are very effective too. I find those to be really effective on your body. The stuff that you can get in your that you can dissolve on your tongue seems to work a lot better than I thought it would, because I wasn't using those products that much, and they've gotten better with the tastes on them. And the next thing I want to go to, this kit right here is the focus and the one thing I want everybody to investigate. This has a kit of 5 different ratios of CBD to THC that is going to allow you to explore. It's not that expensive. It's going to allow you to explore, your options on what you want. You can start out with the 18-to-1, which is 18 parts CBD to 1 part THC, and that is a really good ratio to start out with. You're not going to feel much, you're going to feel a lot in your body, and if you want to go higher, each one is a step higher, and it changes the ratio until you get to a 1-to-1 ratio, which a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC is pretty potent. It's a pretty potent ratio, and I don't even get to that ratio right now. I mean, I would only use that as a nuclear option where I was, really having a lot of issues, which sometimes it does happen, if nothing else was working. It is something that I think is probably one of the tools we're going to have in our arsenal. When all the people out there that try this are going to probably like that product a lot. The one next to it is a topical pen, CBD pen. I didn't think this was going to be very effective. I was very surprised. It's moderately effective. If you have an area on your body, not a thick-skinned area, like my ankles bother me all the time because I have sciatica. The topical, I put the topical on my ankles, and not only did it help relax my body and let me sleep, it took away the pain in my ankle, which I didn't think it would do that. I thought it would just absorb through there. You're supposed to use it in a place on your body that's thin skin, so it absorbs better. It says behind the ears or on your feet. And I was very surprised at that. That's a good one. You can use that, as much as you want or as little as you want. My wife used, what would you say, probably a quarter-sized dab, and you smeared it around. Yeah, and it worked pretty good. It didn't last that long. You have to keep redoing it. It didn't last that long, but it worked pretty good. And here's the one I want to go to right now. This is the holy grail as far as I'm concerned, what I have discovered. These are patches. They are anywhere from a CBD patch to a THC patch to a CBD THC patch to a CBN patch. When I bought these patches, I started out with the CBN patch, which I had never done before. I was having a lot of problems with sciatica. I wasn't sleeping worth a damn, couldn't get through the night without waking up in pain. My wife put that patch on me. It's a 12-hour patch, and I got to tell you, it's the best night's sleep I ever had since I've had ALS, and it knocked me out completely, and the only reason I woke up was because my bladder said, hey, you're going to pee on yourself if you don't wake up. So, and I found out with that patch, it's so effective and so potent, I could actually, it stayed in my body for almost 2 days, and I got a second night's sleep out of it. And that's after I took it off in the morning. And I took it off after 8.5 hours, and it's a 12-hour patch. So that's how effective it was. The CBN is one I would definitely recommend to everybody. Whether you can medicate any other way or not, I'm going to be using that one from now on. The cost is a little tight on it. It's $12 for a patch. I'm hoping these patches, you can cut them in half or cut them in quarters. They work just as effectively as long as you don't peel the little patch off and the little protective patch on it before you use it. The other half will be just fine. And then you can control the dosage if you don't want to go with the full dose. So that one is the one that I was really, really impressed by, and I think that everybody out here that uses it is going to be very impressed and very happy with the results of it. The next one, they all have, like I said, the label. If you'll hold them up again. Hold one up, honey. They have all the labels that tells you what it is right on top of it. You can ask for what you want by name. The next one I want to talk about is the CBD patch. The CBD patch I put on when I got up in the morning on a day when I was having a little trouble with my body, and I didn't want to be, knocked out because I just woke up. So I put the CBD patch on my leg, It took a little longer to take effect than the CBN patch did, probably because I passed out immediately from the CBN patch and didn't realize when it took full effect. But the CBD patch is a really good patch if you want to get through the day. You don't want your body to be acting up on you. It helps with your appetite. It's actually a little bit of a, once you get used to it, it's a little bit of a stimulant. I mean, it makes you feel good. It's not really a stimulant per se, but it makes you feel good enough that you're a little more perky than you usually feel when you're trying to battle with all your symptoms. And that one is a good one to just put on your foot and go through the day, and it lasts for 12 hours also. And if you think it's too strong, you can cut that one down too. There's another one I tried, a CBD THC patch. When I first tried it, I didn't really like it that much, but the longer I had it on, the more I liked it, and it pretty much mimicked the same effects as the CBN patch did. But it took a lot longer for it to get to that point, because by the end of the day, I was tired and I was a little sleepy, and I went to bed that night and I was able to get a really good night's sleep from that one too. It's just, you know, it uses THC to do the same thing that I think the CBN patch does all by itself. But, and then the other one I have there is a pure THC patch. I have not tried that one because I don't think a THC patch alone is going to be effective for me. It might be for some of you out there. I don't know. I think that it's something that, you know, each one of you have to make your own choice about how you want to proceed with what of these medicines you want to use. Those are the ones that I find to be most effective. And the last product I have up here is suppositories, believe it or not. They have CBD to THC suppositories. I'm going to say I have not tested this product. Can't seem to find a volunteer for the product. I do have them here. All these products I bought up here, and I want to say right now, for people that are out there in the community, some of these products are quite pricey. Some of them are mid-level. I'm hoping in the future, I'm jumping ahead of myself right now, but the person I'm going to put you guys in contact with is the owner of a dispensary. I'm hoping she is going to give us a better rate than I'm getting right now through my local dispensary. She's stationed out of Santa Ana. But I am going to make these products available to anyone on a first come, first served basis. The ones that I, you know, haven't used that are still here, or the ones that I have used that I know that are still sterile. I will give them to anybody to try that cannot afford to try them, or, you know, would like to try them before they put their money out there. All you have to do is get in contact with me or anyone in this room that's here right now. I will be happy to share these products with you. That is pretty much the gist of what I have to offer as far as my my experiments with these products go. The next thing I want to talk about a little bit is if my wife will pass out a couple of these flyers right here. I talked about this before. It's not a cannabis product. This is a royal jelly. It is a bee product. I started using this when I discovered it. I don't know if any of you have tried bee pollen or propolis. I tried all those because I heard they would help with my digestion and stuff like that, and to some extent they did. But this product right here was developed by a microbiologist. I got him at the farmer's market. His wife sells honey, a lot of different varieties of honey, and he is a microbiologist, and he started working with this stuff. And usually royal jelly only lasts 1 or 2 weeks. It's in liquid form, and it deteriorates really fastly, and it goes into your stomach. What it is royal jelly is the stuff that queen bees eat that makes them a queen bee. And if you read the sheet, the properties in it are amazing. And what he did was he found a way to freeze dry this formula and give it a shelf life of 2 years. And it's so powerful, I take 1/3 of a teaspoon a month. And for all of us that have constipation problems, which most of us do, this will really help straighten that out. It will aid in your digestion. It will give you an appetite. And it's like supercharging your system. You don't want to take too much of it because it's very powerful. 1/3 of a teaspoon. It has the consistency of powdered milk. It sticks to the roof of your mouth a little bit. It's something I take with tea, and when I take it with tea, it dissolves right away. And you know, getting it off your palate is the hardest part of it. But it's really amazing and very effective. And I wanted to get it out to everybody to try that. And the sheet that I passed out, I don't know, maybe I can get the phone number off of there or the website off of there that you could call. Deb, can you tell me what the name of it is? Because this gentleman will be more than willing to help you, and he's very sincere and was very happy. I just talked to him yesterday.
crystalspurehoney.com.
It's crystalspurehoney.com. And you can look it up, and you can see this sheet should be up there and tell you all the good things about it. So I wanted to get that out there to you guys. And it is at the local farmers market. I don't know how many they go to. They do the one in OB, which is mine. I don't know which other ones they go to, but they do go to the local stores that he always has at our local farmers market. It was $25, but it'll last you for a long time. I mean, it'll last you a year. One third of a teaspoon a month is what I'm taking.
So for our internet audience, if we could repeat the questions and then give the answer, or we'll get a mic to whoever needs to ask the question.
Perfect.
And we'll bring you a mic, okay?
Yes. Okay, and I want to save the questions for just a little minute. The next thing I want to talk about is very exciting to me. I'm hoping that it's going to be exciting to you guys. We don't have a lot of hope out there. There's not a lot of things. The reason why I took this upon myself is because there are no medicine for me right now, or for a lot of the PALS people. You know, we only have the stopgap measure, the Ricatava, whatever it is that I can't even take. It's very expensive. So this is a grassroots effort. I've been involved with a gentleman by the name of Joel Gaidosh, and he is the executive director of a company called Green Rush Science, and they are developing products specifically for people with neurological diseases like us, and one of their prime focuses is ALS. I have been working with him. He's come to my house, and we've had a 4-hour conversation. I've been in conversations with him and the research scientists I've been privy to. Luckily, I was very happy. Coach Casey is the one that steered him in my direction, and same as he did with Daryl. And through him, I've developed a relationship, and I've become pretty much the spearhead first person that he has selected to be part of a group study that is going to be forthcoming. And he had this patient advocate that I was talking about before that is also a life coach, cannabis coach. She owns a dispensary in Santa Ana. Her name is Shelly McKay. That is who I'm going to give you the information. She has a company. Her dispensary is called Cannabis Works, and you can go up there and see her website. She has way more products than where I go through down here. Better products, and a lot of the products I have up here right now are products that she has. And they're products that they are affiliated with, because she's also affiliated with ICANN, and so is this Green Rush Science I'm working with. They're affiliated with these Israeli Hebrew National University, and all of these scientists that are basically the ones that first bioengineered. His name is eluding me right now. But the ones that bioengineered CBD and CBN and are at the forefront of what's going on right now with cannabis research are the people that we are going to be affiliated with. And they are going to be looking for volunteers that want to be a part of this research study to find the most effective way to get these products, these medical products that they are developing into our bodies. I'm hoping that in the future they are going to be able to speak either here or in one of our group studies, one of our groups that we get together. But I would encourage anybody who wants to be a part of this. All the medicine and everything will be absolutely free. All you have to do is follow their protocols and sign a non-disclosure agreement, and you'll probably be, if you want to be in the study, you can be part of the study. And they will be sending products, but I don't want to step too far into this because it's not my area of expertise. But if you contact Shelly McKay, she will be the one that will be getting this thing, organizing this thing, and getting it all together. And she also is a cannabis coach, and any question that you have for me right now that I can answer, she will be the one that is qualified to answer. She will be the one that steer you in the right direction as to what products you want to try when you talk to her. She's had much experience with MS and ALS patients up in her area. So she is familiar with our symptoms, our problems, and somebody that I think is a valuable resource and one that you would want to go to after I get through talking. So, and she is waiting for anybody to call her and is encouraged by her phone calls. And so with that, I'm going to wrap this up and take any questions that anybody has. Yes?
Will there be a double-blind or any blinded study?
See, this is questions that I am not qualified to answer. I'm pretty sure they are going to be. It's going to be like a normal study and beta testing, the whole 9 yards. But I'm not the person to ask about this, which is why I want to get Joel and have him address our group in one way or another. If we're working on trying to make that happen. But Shelley McKay will be the one that can answer these questions better than I can. And she is, like I said, a patient cannabis coach, patient coach. Works very well qualified, expert in her field.
To sign up, we call Shelley.
Do you call Shelley?
We have, yes, I will have a phone number that we can reach. I will put that out there right now.
So, Sonny, while we're waiting for that, can you share a little on a personal level? At the last time I heard this presentation, there was the story about when you first wake up in the morning and your wife's offer to you, or just bring it down to your day-to-day. You start off with.
Well, when I wake up first thing in the morning, the first thing I do, besides scream, because I hate getting in that net, is I get up and I do my business, and then I go back to sleep for a little bit, and I don't really have any medication until I can't stand laying in bed anymore, because the medication I've taken from the night before is still a little effective in the morning, and then that usually starts wearing off around 9 o'clock. And my wife gets me up, and I go and I have, the one product I didn't bring. I totally forgot. My main product is honey, CBD honey, it's CBD infused in honey that she squirts into my tea, and I take about a 15 milligram dose of that. That is my first line defense. That's what I've used every day since I discovered it. We were having a little trouble getting it for a while, but now it seems to be online and available, and it's come back and it's easy to find. And that is for people that can still swallow, that is the easiest and the most effective way I find for getting it into my body in the morning instantly, because I drink it and within a couple minutes I'm get a nice warm feeling through my body. My whole body is relaxed, and it's just the first thing I drink with my tea. And from there, I usually have breakfast. We have breakfast, and then I will immediately go and start medicating by smoking cannabis to get myself a little bit more aligned with where I want to be for the day, and to get my head squared away, because quite frankly, the reason why I smoke and I do a lot of cannabis products, it's for my body and all this, and I think it's very beneficial, but also because of this burden we carry on our minds, in our minds all the time, and it's helped me deal with what we have to deal with as pals, and that's the reason why I'm such a strong advocate for cannabis, because in more ways than one, it helps our bodies, it helps our minds, it helps our appetites, it helps our sleep, and I don't know any other product out there that can do all that in one. That's, that you can find, that you can actually customize to your body as your symptoms progress. And it's made for us. Western medicine, it has its place. It's going to be the cure for us all one day. But in the meantime, we're left to our own devices. And this is the device I found that works the most effectively.
And good for domestic tranquility?
Pretty good for domestic tranquility. Once I get it in my system, I'm a little testy, and I'm really difficult in the morning. I'm not a morning person. She will tell you that. My poor wife has to put up with my ranting and raving until I get pretty medicated. That is true. Any other questions by anybody? Okay.
Okay, so we'll be here, and Dr. James Myers would like to share just a little bit of his personal experience study, if that's all right. He's got
Perfect.
a couple of slides, and he'll be brief.
Honey, will you coming up?
Just to
turn me
supplement.
on?
Can I just stay here
You can.
or maybe move up?
You want to sit right there?
You want to be on the camera? We'll
On the
put you up
camera?
front.
Oh,
Let me get all the way.
Take your time. And any self-intro you want to do,
Can you get through there?
or
Yeah,
not,
sure.
it's fine too.
Did you click it on?
There we go.
Just set that there.
1, 2, 3, testing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Dr. Jim Myers. I'm a cardiologist. And I have nothing, I have no disclaimers. About early last year, in perfectly good health, skiing downhill a year or two before, being fully active, I got a bout of pneumonia. Not a major bout, but I do have COPD, although I've never smoked in my life. After that, my appetite just went downhill to nothing. Food disgusted me. I went to a dinner, fine steak in front of me, I just could not eat it. So I started taking, and in the course of the next 4 months or so, I lost 25 pounds, most of it muscle. So I thought, well, my weight loss is simply due to lack of calorie intake. So, doctoring myself, of course, I started using the Enfamil, or no, God, the baby stuff, Ensure Intil.
Ensure
Okay.
Plus.
Ensure Enlive.
Okay.
Enlive. And it contains 350 calories per bottle. And I drink about 2 bottles of that. It contains a bunch of other stuff. And I started to maintain my weight pretty well, but I still couldn't stand food. So my internist said, well, why don't you try pot? Pot? Me take pot? No way. And then I thought, well, I'll go to I'll look into it. So I went to the local dispensary in Sereno Valley. And my son went with me, who knows nothing about pot either, thank goodness. And the gentleman recommended a stick of chocolate. And he said, you bite off 10 milligrams a day, or 10 milligrams, a day, and you'll know the benefit of appetite. So I took 10 milligrams, and what I noticed was a wackiness in the head that when I stood up, I got unsteady, which worried the hell out of me because that's all I don't need is another fall. So I said, this is not for me. I tried 5 milligrams, a little bit of the same thing. So I gave that up and started doing some of my own research. So the first slide just reminds us that we have the National Institutes of Health is the federal government's major research institution. And it's one federal agency that is really respected. And they've noted that indeed CBDs do have antioxidant and neuroprotective properties, which the first slide showed. So based on a lot of anecdotal evidence. The possible use of cannabis oil to treat ALS may actually prolong life of the patient in addition to relieving many of the disease's devastating day-to-day symptoms. And Sonny has covered this beautifully. So, there's been more and more conclusive evidence indicating that patients' self-medicating regimen may be beneficial. Preclinical studies show that cannabis has powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and neuroprotective effects with regular application. And the anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective, not much is known about the pathogenesis of the disease, but it's for certain it's got something to do with inflammation. And it's amazing that we're now finding that inflammation has everything to do with many diseases, including cardiovascular disease. So I found that if I did take some CBD, it would be useful. So this is a table of what it can do, or the various things that it affects. Sonny's already said that pain, it helps. Both the anti-inflammatory effect, and it's a non-opioid. So it's not going to be part of this opioid epidemic. I don't have much pain. The reason I wear this thing here, and I don't see anybody else's head drooping, but that's been the darndest thing with me. I've lost the muscles that support my head. And if you don't think your head is very heavy, it is. 8 pounds. So I also have another thing that helps your dynamics. Yeah. So, spasticity, I think we all have, in the areas affected, some degree of spasticity. I have it here on the right side, and it does cause some muscle relaxation. Appetite stimulant, that's been covered very nicely. Bronchodilation. If you do have dyspnea related to ALS, now usually the dyspnea has to do with your diaphragm and it not being able to work properly. But if you have any degree of asthma, so-called, this will help in the bronchodilation. That's what dilation means dilate the bronchioles. It helps drooling and it dries up your secretions. Have any of you had trouble eating due to a runny nose? No? I have the damnedest time. I sit there, and that's one reason I don't want to sit down, because about every other food, every other bite, I have to wipe my nose. So I now use a spray, and that helps. But I think after I started the CBD, it helped that also. Euphoria, depression. We all easy to get depressed, and I think it's helped that with me. I guess there's a great family around me. They help. And the dysautonomia, vasodilatation. Do you have cold hands and feet? I do. And it seems to help that. But vasodilatation is an important aspect of a healthy body. And then the neuronal oxidation. It's a neuroprotective antioxidant. So those are the main ways it works. And this is my little scheme. I use this Lazarus Naturals, and it's a oil, and it comes $125 per 60 cc's, 75 if you have any military experience or served in the military. I was a 2-year wonder, and all I did was send them my discharge paper, and they said, yeah. So I get it for 75. I use 25 milligrams 4 times a day, and it seems to do those beneficial effects that I mentioned on the previous slide. I think the dose is widely variable. You probably take twice that much and not notice much difference, but anyway, that's what I take. The salve, or the Rio Grande Hemp Company, this looks like a deodorant, and it you rub it on, and you don't rub it in, but my bad places are those muscles back here. They're continually stressed. So my wife, Beverly, or Diana, or my son, Brett, will give me a massage, and then rub that on, and it really helps. I used to get up in the morning, and it was like my shoulders and neck were a piece of glass. And when I'd be lifted forward, I just crack. I just feel like everything was cracking. Hurt like hell. And that's gone now, which is a great benefit. So that's a very beneficial product. And L-carnitine is a amino acid, which I don't have a reference, but somewhere in my readings, I read that this was beneficial, as a lot of amino acids are for various things. But 500 milligram tablets, it says you take 1 to 3 a day. I take 1 BID, or 1 twice a day. You can get it at such places as Sprouts in Solana Beach, or you can get it online. So, that's my story. It looks like I'm earlier in the disease than a lot of you, but have a thing or two that's a little unusual. Any questions?
Well, we thank you for sharing. I know that, yeah, go ahead. Sonny, when we put out the postcards and so forth, Dr. Myers was interested, and then we were at Balboa Park, and we had a discussion, and he had some stuff to share. So we thank you very much for bringing your family out. I know you've got out-of-towners here, and you took the time to come join us, and we appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay. So any questions to either of our speakers at this point? And any of the phone numbers or contact links you're trying to capture today, they'll be posted along with the YouTube video in Facebook. The contacts, phone numbers, anything that they reference. It'll be online at YouTube or our Facebook page. Yep, or call the office. We'll get you connected. Okay. All right, James. That concludes. Let me go up front. So to our live audience and our web audience, we thank you for joining us today. This has been recorded, so you can play it back at your leisure or share it from our YouTube account. And, of course, you can look for that link at our Facebook page. So we appreciate everyone's attention today, and this concludes our Care Services meeting. Thank you.